It's a zombie company. It loses money. Nobody's going to the game. Thank God they get Caitlin Clark. She's injured for 2 weeks. All of a sudden, attendance goes down. This is not going to work long term. You trust me. You'll see this long term. Ain't nobody going to WNBA game.
Caitlin Clark sits out, and suddenly ticket prices drop like a rock. One day it's $76, the next it's $3. Not even the vending machine snacks are that cheap. That's not a coincidence, that's impact. She's not just a player, they're building entire broadcasts, marketing campaigns, and sold-out arenas around her. And now that she's sidelined with an injury, the league's feeling it hard. But instead of rallying around her, some players are throwing shade, some fans are in denial, and the league's still acting like this is business as usual. Stick around, we're breaking down why Caitlin Clark isn't just the face of the WNBA right now, she might be the reason it's still standing. Let me hit you with a number: $3. That's how much it costs to get into a Fever game. After the news broke that Caitlin Clark was out with a quad injury, not $30, not even $13, just $3 before the injury, that same seat was selling for $76. That's a 92% drop in value. That's not normal. We're not just talking about one city or one team. Either this was a league-wide ripple. Prices dropped in Indiana, in Washington, and Chicago, and the fans didn't just pay less, some flat out didn't show up. You want to know how powerful a player is? Look at how the market reacts when they're no longer there. And when Clark's off the floor, it feels like the soul of the game steps away with her. That's what real influence looks like, not just a name on the jersey. She's a phenomenon. Let's clear something up. Injuries happen all the time, that's part of sports. But when Caitlin Clark gets hurt, it doesn't just impact the starting lineup, it affects attendance, viewership, arena operations, even how networks prioritize coverage. Indiana announced she'd missed 2 weeks. Since then, ticket sales for her games have dropped from $137 on average to $80. Some fans paid as little as $4. That's not a dip, that's a cliff. Now imagine if that happened in the NBA. Imagine LeBron missing 2 weeks and suddenly the Lakers can't sell out tickets. That's what we're talking about. Here, Clark is redefining what star power looks like in the WNBA. Her presence elevates games from local interest to national events, and without her, it's like the lights dim a bit, the crowd buzz fades, the stakes don't feel as high. This is a business too, and her absence costs real money. You know you've made it when entire arenas change just because of your name on the schedule. The Washington Mystics moved a game to CFG Bank Arena. In Baltimore, the Chicago Sky, they went from Winrust Arena to the United Center. That's 20,000 seats, all to capitalize on the Clark frenzy. Then the news dropped. She's injured those 86.
Can we be clear about this? If Caitlin Clark were not in the WNBA, we would not be talking about the WNBA. She is the only ticket draw in the WNBA. A large percentage of all tickets sold in the WNBA are so people can watch Caitlin Clark play basketball. No one cares about Angel Reese. She'd be drawing flies if she were playing not against Caitlin Clark on the court right now. Angel Reese has basically become the Bill Laimbeer to Caitlin Clark's Larry Bird, essentially. That is where we now are.
Seats for the June 7th Clark Reese showdown, they dropped to $25 overnight. Some resale listings showed them for less than movie tickets. That's not just a man disappearing, that's momentum collapsing. And what makes it crazier is that this isn't some veteran with years in the league. Caitlin Clark didn't just change ticket prices, she changed blueprints. Teams upgraded venues just to handle the gravity she brings. This isn't marketing, this is an earthquake, and yet some people in the league are still asking, has she earned it? Earned what? The right to be the reason the building isn't empty, the right to carry everyone's paycheck. Come on now, let's not sugarcoat it. Caitlin Clark is not just a key player for the Indiana Fever, she is the economic engine of the WNBA right now. She moves the needle, she shifts ticketing strategies, she drives ad campaigns, and when she's not there, the system starts to crack. She's not just a scorer, she's a draw. She's not just a shooter, she's a sensation. When was the last time a rookie had this kind of influence? Zion Williamson had a moment.
Because I saw this today, it's fascinating. So, a university professor in finance looked up the value of Caitlin Clark for the WNBA.
Like this in the NBA, but even then the league wasn't hanging on every minute he played with Caitlin. It's different. Her presence or absence changes everything. There are players that help teams, there are players that help cities. Clark is helping an entire league stay relevant, profitable, and buzzing with energy. On May 30th, Indiana played the Connecticut Sun. Caitlin Clark didn't even play. Still, over 16,000 fans showed up. That's not just a good crowd, that's a playoff-level crowd for a regular season game. Without the star, some paid $4 to get in. But they showed up. Why? Because she might be there, because she might wave, because she might be on the bench. That's the kind of influence superstars have. That's Taylor Swift showing up at an NFL game kind of influence. That's not normal, that's rare, and in women's sports, almost unheard of. Meanwhile, the league is acting like it's just business. As usual, the WNBA has waited years for this kind of momentum, and now that they finally have it, they're dropping the ball. No marketing blitz, no protection from officials, no statement acknowledging the obvious. Caitlin Clark is the main reason people are tuning in. You can't treat a Ferrari like a golf cart. You can't treat your once-in-a-generation star like she's just another name on the roster. It's like getting struck by lightning. And instead of celebrating, you run inside and hide from the rain. Let's address the elephant in the locker room. There are players who don't like the attention Clark is getting, and they're not hiding it. Passive-aggressive Instagram posts, cryptic press conference quotes, physical play that crosses the line when some say she hasn't earned her stripes. But let's be real, the fans already gave her the badge. The truth is, if any other player was drawing 20,000 fans and 2.5 million TV viewers, the league would be building statues. But with Caitlin, it's resentment. Gatekeeping doesn't build legacy, it blocks it. And it's time some veterans stop trying to hold the door closed and start welcoming the fans walking. And
so the WNBA says they want to get paid more. They're saying this year they're going to make $1 billion. That's what they're saying, okay? For the first time ever. Now that Caitlin Clark is hurt for 2 weeks, did you see ticket prices? Insane. Let me read you the ticket price.
She's outstanding. Let's be clear, Caitlin Clark isn't asking for a red carpet. She's not begging for VIP treatment. She shows up, competes, and takes more hits than almost anyone else in the league right now, and still she gets.
When it comes to Caitlin Clark, now I've taken hits because I was calling it from day one. You got people that are resentful towards her, but it's really not about her, guys. It's about what she represents. Before she ever came along, there were a lot of outstanding basketball players who happened to be black females that was doing their thing on the WNBA level. And they never got this kind of shine.
Back up, she's doing everything you'd want from a professional, putting in the hours, staying humble, keeping your head down, and her game's sharp. Yet somehow that's still not enough for some folks in the league who think you need to pay your dues before you're allowed to shine. Newsflash, this isn't a sorority. This is a business that survives on revenue, ratings, and relevance. And Caitlin Clark is delivering all three. This isn't high school. You don't get to haze the freshmen because they're more talented.
This girl, the Golden Goose, comes along, and she wreaks havoc. She's the Rookie of the Year. She's fourth in the league in MVP voting. Fourth in the league, her rookie year.
Wow.
Outstanding. She's like Steph Curry. She can pull up from anywhere. You understand? She has that kind of capability. Didn't win a national championship. Lost to LSU one year. We lost to South Carolina another year. But she's outstanding.
Than you were at that age, you embrace it. Because if Caitlin eats, the whole league eats. It's not complicated. Every sports network in the country is talking about Caitlin Clark. And not just ESPN, we're talking Fox Sports, CNN, even late night hosts dropping her name. That's rare air. And it's not just her highlights that go viral. It's everything she does. She walks into an arena, cameras flash. She warms up in headphones, TikTok gets 1 million views. She takes a hit in a game, Twitter becomes a war zone. The media understands what the league seems to be missing. Caitlin Clark isn't just a basketball player. She's a moment, a storyline, a cultural movement in motion. If she scores 30, it's a headline. If she scores 9, it's a debate. That's star power, and no other player in the league is getting that kind of attention right now. So while the media is going nuts over Clark, what does the WNBA commissioner do? She pens a long-winded article about how her 3-pillar strategy is the reason for the league's success. Really, let's be honest, Kathy Angelbert didn't go viral. Kathy Angelbert didn't drop 40 in the Final Four. Kathy Angelbert didn't cause people to crash ticketing sites. Caitlin Clark did all that. The credit isn't a pie. No one's starving if you admit that Clark changed the game. But pretending like this boom was part of some 5-year marketing plan is just tone deaf. Let's call it what it is, a once-in-a-lifetime player arrived at the perfect time, and the league better keep up. Let's play the what-if game for a second. If Caitlin Clark woke up tomorrow and said, "You know what, I'm done," what would happen to the WNBA TV ratings? They'd take a nosedive. Ticket prices back to pre-Clark levels. Our lower casual fans, they'd disappear. The media attention, the celebrity endorsements, the hype, all gone. Clark has single-handedly become the WNBA's most marketable asset. Without her, the narrative collapses. The Fever go back to being a small market team, and the league goes back to begging ESPN for coverage. That's not a knock on the league, that's reality. It shows how powerful one player can be. When they ignite cultural interest for months, some fans have complained about getting priced out of games. Clark made WNBA tickets too expensive. They said it's not fair. Well, guess what? Now you can get in for $13, some games $9. You can sit center court for less than what you paid for dinner last night. So, where are the fans now? The truth is those crowds weren't just there for women's basketball, they were there for Caitlin Clark. And when she's not on the court, a lot of those people don't show up. So here's a reality check. This is what the WNBA looks like. Without Caitlin, are you still watching? Another big conversation. The officiating. Clark is getting hit harder than anyone out there. Hip checks, elbows, body slams, you name it. And what do the refs do? Nothing. No whistles, no texts, no fines. It's like she's invisible to the officials. Meanwhile, veterans are getting superstar calls every night. Why isn't Clark? She's drawing more defenders than anyone in the league. She's selling more tickets, getting more coverage. Isn't that what makes you a star? So why not treat her like one? Refs need to recognize what the fans already know. Caitlin Clark is a superstar to the players feeling overlooked right now. This isn't personal, this is business. If you're in the WNBA, Clark's spotlight helps you too. It brings in money, it brings in fans, it gives your team more games on national TV. That's a win. Jealousy doesn't grow, league strategy does. Use her momentum, build off her success. Don't try to dim her light. Use it to shine brighter. This could be the WNBA's golden era, but only if everyone gets on the same team. Let's just call it like it is. The WNBA lives and dies with Caitlin Clark. She's the reason why your cousin, who's never watched women's basketball, suddenly knows the Fever schedule. She's why YouTube is flooded with WNBA highlights. She's why your mom is texting you asking who Angel Reese is. That's power, that's presence, that's Caitlin Clark. So protect her, support her, promote her, because the league needs her more than it realizes, and if she ever decides to walk away, the silence will be deafening. Now we want to hear from you. Should Caitlin Clark be getting superstar calls? Are the veterans being too salty? Or do they have a point? Would the WNBA still be booming right now if Clark never went pro? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Smash that like button if you believe in the Caitlin Clark effect. Hit that subscribe for more deep dives like this, and don't forget to share this with a fellow basketball fan, because this story, it's far from over.